Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Josie's Point of View, where we focus on human interest stories from the Carolinas and beyond. Today it's Thursday and it's May the 19th, 2022. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to my channel, I'd like to extend to you a warm welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you find the information here to be informative. And if you're a returning viewer, by all means, thank you so much for coming back. You know, I always say that the tide changes so frequently here on these YouTube streets, so you always have to acknowledge where your support comes from. And I want you to know I sincerely thank you for your support. Feel free to like and to share this video, and don't forget to subscribe. And our story today takes us to the city of Summerfield, which is in Rockingham County in North Carolina. Take a look at the headline. And it reads, resident who sexually abused 8-year-old gets 37 years in jail. I'll provide you with a summary here, and as always, I'll place links to a few of the full articles in the description box. And today we're talking about 64-year-old Harry Lee Willard, a resident of Rockingham County here in North Carolina. Well, earlier this month, he was sentenced to 37 years in prison for what prosecutors said he did to an 8-year-old girl. Now, this story dates back to an incident that took place back in 2019. An 8-year-old girl was taken to the local hospital for treatment of a suspected sexual assault, and at the hospital, she was able to describe being attacked, and the nurses were able to verify that based on the information provided, that she had indeed been violated. And fortunately for this young girl, she was able to identify her attacker. It did not say how the victim knew her attacker. We don't know if a relationship existed between the two, but nonetheless, she was able to tell the police the person who had assaulted her. And based on the information provided by the young victim, this man pictured here, 64-year-old Harry Lee Willard, was identified as a suspect. He was arrested and charged with statutory sexual offense against a minor and indecent liberties with a child. Willard was placed in the Rockingham County Detention Center and given a $1 million secure bond. And as part of their investigation, police obtained a sample of Willard's DNA, and the North Carolina Crime Lab was able to match it against the DNA found in the young child's underwear. Investigators now had the evidence they needed to proceed with their case. And as the investigation continued, Willard was eventually released from jail. According to reports, he was released after paying $200,000 secured bond, and as a condition of his release, he was to be secured to a GPS anchor monitor as he awaited his trial date on the sexual assault charge, and he was scheduled to appear in court on January the 10th of this year. But on the morning of January 10th, Willard was a no-show. He had just disappeared, and that prompted another warrant to be issued for him. This time was an outstanding arrest warrant for violating his pretrial release condition and for damaging his electronic monitoring device. He had cut it off and he had disappeared. And just like that, about 2 weeks later, he returned home. Well, maybe he had some unfinished business. Maybe he had to go on vacation. Who knows? But authorities received information that he had returned to his home, and that's where they arrested him. So in addition to the charges he had previously, he now had new charges added to it, and his new bond was set as $1,025,000. And according to reports, the case proceeded to trial. But after the victim had given her testimony, Willard then decided he would plead guilty. He pled guilty to 1 count of statutory sexual offense with a child 15 years or younger and 1 count of indecent liberties with a minor. And Rockingham County Superior Court Judge Ed Wilson sentenced Willard to a minimum of 37 years and a maximum of 50 years in the North Carolina Department of Corrections. The judge said that Willard did not have a plea deal with the district attorney's office, and he was not even considered for a plea deal. He was given the maximum sentence allowed under North Carolina law. He praised the victim for her testimony and said he had no doubt that her testimony played a large role in Willard's decision to plead guilty. He said the victim does not ever have to worry about seeing Willard again. Well, this is a small victory for victims of sexual abuse, but this is one in particular because not only was it reported, it resulted in a trial, it resulted in a conviction, and it resulted in a hefty jail sentence, and it needs to be celebrated. But this is only one, and there are estimated thousands of young men and women who experienced sexual abuse as a child and never reported. And that's why we need to publicize cases such as this one. We just never know who might hear it, and they just might find the courage to speak up and tell their story. One of the things I mentioned in my last video is that in our state, in North Carolina, there is no statute of limitation for sexual assault. No matter how long, the offender can still be brought to justice. And that's all I have for you right now. Feel free to leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about this video. And by all means, feel free to like it and to share it. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel by clicking on that red subscribe button. It's on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And if you click on the bell that looks just like this one right here, it's the notification bell. If you click on that notification bell, you'll be the first to know whenever a new video is uploaded. I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.